Alright, so this video is designed to teach you about the concept of indents, and there are different types of indents, and they're used in different places. So the first type is the full indent, and we kind of talked about that one before when you have a paragraph and you use the increase indent button here, and that does a full indent. That's just a left indent actually. Just kidding about the full indent, but that indents from the left margin. That indents everything. If you're doing a paper, you typically would want what we call a first line indent. And I'm going to go ahead, we'll pull up the paragraph dialog box launcher. This is the easiest way to do that. But for first line indent under special, you would choose first line and click OK, and that indents the first line 1/2 inch. Pressing tab will do that too, but only when you're starting a paragraph, so you want to be a little careful about relying on that because tab and indent are not exactly the same thing. Let's do the full indent. Let's do this one with a full indent. We'll use the paragraph dialog box launcher again. Before text would be 1/2 inch, and then after text again, if you indent from the left and the right for that. So if you had a quote, a long quote that you were using in a paper, that's how you would do that with the left and the right for that. And again, I'm going to pull up the paragraph dialog box. I'm going to take those back to 0 for that and click OK. The other type of indent, and this was the first line, the other type is something called a hanging indent. I'm going to apply it here, even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense here. Okay, that's a hanging indent. And click OK. That's when the first line is at the margin and everything else is indented. And it looks a little funny on this, but that is actually what you would use if you were doing sources. Okay, so I've got some sources here that I've cited. I can use my hanging indent, choose half, and click OK. And you see how the sources are first line at the margin, everything else is indented 1/2 inch. Now, you may say, oh, that's great, but I can use enter and tab to do the same thing. And you could. Let me kind of show you that. Okay, so let me do this one here. Press enter and tab and enter and tab. Okay, so I've got that now. That's great. And it looks, if I turn off my show hide, it looks like it's the same as what I had done before. However, if I have to edit this, okay, so say I make a mistake, artificial intelligence realizing the ultimate promises of computing in today's society. Okay, so all of a sudden now I have to go back and change everything for my enters and tabs. So that's not an ideal situation. Whereas if I do the hanging indent, let me put those hanging indents back on. Okay, and again, paragraph dialog box launcher, special indent, hanging, okay. There, then I put in today's society, and boom, it's automatically wrapped. Everything's formatted the right way. The whole goal in Word is to make your life as easy as possible. Okay, so first line indent, start every paragraph in a research paper, hanging indents for sources. Another thing with hanging indents, let me just take that back to normal there. I'll take this one back to normal too. And I want to show you hanging indents are what's used in numbered lists. So we've got that well. So if I made this a numbered list, and you could see, boom, bullets or numbers, that lines up at the margin or at the indent, and then this is lined up at the hanging indent. So that's another use for that. Now I want to show you one other trick with the hanging with the indents. Okay, you can do them on the paragraph dialog box launcher, or if you pull up the ribbon and remember ruler, to turn on the ruler, and if you have the ruler on, the little triangle pointing down, that's a first line indent. If I drag that to 1/2 inch, I get a first line indent. Okay, take that back. If I drag the bottom triangle, that's oops, I got the box. If I get the bottom triangle, and you know you're pointing to it when it says hanging indent, boom, I get my hanging indent. Okay, take that back there. If I drag the box, that drags both of them together. That's a full indent. So the ruler is a very convenient way to do that. And the right indent, you would do the same way. Okay, so you can use the ruler, or you can use the paragraph dialog box to do your indents. But either way, let's say make sure when you're doing your sources that you use the hanging indent to do it.